They work as long as there's work to be done, right through the night when the pressure's on. Broome is about as far as you can go from Nowra, 3,000 kilometres. It's the difference between an overcoat and a suntan.
Oh, I think we've just got to use our initiative really and still do the work, but do it a little bit different to what we're doing at Nowra.
Ray Murrell has been up for hours making sure the 3 trackers of 816 Squadron are ready for launch. Got all our facilities laid right on for us. We've got no problem there. Here we've got to make do with what we've got. Sometimes we have a unserviceability come up and we've got to wait a couple of days to get stores from Nowra. We're a little bit primitive to get to the hangar, get our aircraft into the hangar to work. We can only get one at a time. Most of our maintenance has got to be done during the day because of the lack of facilities in the hangar. This tracker is flying to Montebello Island, the site of the British atomic tests in the 50s. The patrol will take over 7 hours, and there's no upstairs lounge in a tracker. There's a Taiwanese fishing fleet near Montebello, and every boat will be photographed and charted. Until the Fleet Air Arm got here, it was open house. Jeff Allen is in charge of the tracker flight.
This year we are trying to build up the picture of just how and when the fishermen are coming and trying to develop a trend.
The other 2 trackers are flying to King Sound. The waters here are rich with fish, crabs, turtles. Seabirds use the reefs as breeding grounds, and further out on the northwest shelf are untapped oil and gas reserves worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Twice a year, the lighthouse keeper at Cape Levesque sees the bright lights of Broome, so the trackers drop him newspapers whenever they can.
Growth there is in Broome is due to the interests of one company, the Burma Oil Company. They built this base camp for their workers from the northwest shelf. But even though the company's made substantial discoveries of natural gas, they don't know what their future is. So for the time being, they're leasing these premises to the Navy. As you can see, they're air-conditioned. They've even got their own ice cream making machine. And over here, they've got probably the best swimming pool in Broome.
So quickly now, nights are seldom long. Time around me whispers when it's cold. Changes somehow frighten me, still I have to smile. It turns me on to think of growing old.
The Fleet Air Arm and Burma Oil are the 2 biggest shots in the arm Broome has had since the roaring days of the pearl industry. They've both brought money into the town, but there's no guarantee it will last. The Navy will probably be here till the end of the year. And until agreement is reached with the Australian government, the Burma Oil Company is scaling down its operations on the northwest shelf. Even while I was there, an oil rig was loaded onto a ship for a one-way trip to the Middle East. Shire President Dr. Peter Reid isn't alone in worrying about Broome's future.
I'd like to see something happen in Canberra or somewhere to get this project off the ground, and get the Burma Oil Company or whatever company back on the exploration of that shelf out there. The withdrawal of Burma Oil has had a very serious effect on this town's economy.
And if it withdraws completely, it's really in trouble?
The town? Yes, we've suffered a lot of trouble in that the beef industry has gone into a decline. Burma Oil have withdrawn because they can't get any definite agreement from Canberra or anywhere else as to what is going to happen to the gas that they do find, where it's going to be marketed, and at what price and so on.
Dr. Reid wants the Navy in Broome permanently.
If the Navy go away, which they intend to do in September, I think, it will only be a short time before we'll find all our Indonesian friends back with their goats and goodness knows what landing on our shores and so on.
What difference does that make?
Well, the real worry with this is the possibility of introducing foot and mouth disease into the Kimberleys. Now, this town and most of the Kimberley towns are very dependent on the cattle industry for their economies, and if the foot and mouth disease came in here, we'd be in a very serious problem.
The Broome manager of Burma Oil agrees. Dave Harvey doesn't know his company's future in Broome, but says whatever it is, it will be safer with the Navy around.
Well, I personally think it's a very good thing to have the Navy up here from our own company's point of view, and as far as the Northwest is concerned, for the various types of surveillance they can give us, and from the safety reasons we have, such as this trawler overturning the other day at Wyndham.
How important is it to have a naval presence here for your own company's protection of your finds on the Northwest Shelf?
At the moment, I can't see any threat. It could be something that come along in the future, and we know the British government are looking at this in the North Sea, but at the moment I can't see any problems.
The piracy of rigs, this type of thing?
It's something that we would probably have to consider in the future, but at the moment we're not in a situation we're not operating any production rigs anyway.
Officially, the Navy is in Broome on fisheries surveillance, but their job extends far beyond that. There is no siege mentality in Broome, but the locals like to know what's going on. The resources of the Northwest, cattle, fish, oil and gas, and the land itself are being watched over for the first time.
Operating out of Nowra, it's more or less under the training environment or working up for a deployment on the ship, whereas operating up here in Trochus, it's an operational task, so therefore you really can't compare the two. One is a training type atmosphere, preparing yourself to do something, whereas here we have a job to do and we're doing it.
West-northwest wind today of 2 to 7 knots, veering to the northeast with the sea breeze, and this afternoon some scattered cube.
On the 30th of June 1984, an era ended for the Royal Australian Navy. On that date, in accordance with government policy, Fleet Air Arm Tracker and Skyhawk aircraft ceased flying operations. The RAAF henceforth being responsible for fixed-wing air support of the fleet. To mark the end of this important era in Australian military aviation history, on the 1st of June, the Navy's 851 Squadron flew a farewell flypast over Canberra and Sydney.
Off runway 21. I've drawn it there as I'd like it to happen. I will go to starboard side of the runway. I won't take into consideration the crosswinds because we're going to have someone's going to wear the slipstream anyway. So I'll go to the far side of the runway. Let's leader 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we shall roll with a 10-second rolling spacing. So 10 seconds after I've rolled, number 2 roll, and so on down the line. Shouldn't be a problem off 2-1. If we go on to 2-6, well then common safety standards apply as usual. Get height under you. I don't want to see any spit-ass turns from 100 feet off the end of the runway. Okay? With this formation today, I expect that you will join expeditiously, but I don't want any fast joins and no prize for being there first. Logical, sequential join, but above all, keep it safe. Any questions? A right turn out over. And this one here, Russell, is about there. I think in fact it's a bit more of a circle, and on this one and out that way. Just to get some idea. With Civic, naturally, but still.
The RAN first took delivery of Grumman Trackers in 1967. In those 16 years, Trackers flew on a wide variety of tasks: coastal surveillance, rescue missions, fleet support and anti-submarine operations, to name but a few. These missions totaled more than 67,000 flying hours, with the aircraft operating from both land bases and the carrier, HMAS Melbourne. It's a tribute to the air crews and maintainers that during the Tracker's service life, only one aircraft was lost in a flying accident. Even more remarkable, there was only one fatality. These are statistics which reflect favourably on the outstanding skills of all concerned. The end of such a memorable era is a sad occasion. However, the demise of naval fixed-wing aviation doesn't mean the end of the Fleet Air Arm. The Navy's helicopter squadrons will continue to support the fleet in the best traditions of the service.